Hi, my name's John Will, and this is David Meyer. Welcome to our 9-part series on essential grappling.
We've prepared these 9 levels of techniques to take someone from a complete novice to someone who has a good level of skill in grappling. There's many hundreds of techniques, obviously, that we could have incorporated into this curriculum, but we feel that the techniques we've put in here are taught in such an order and give you the well-rounded base that you're going to need to become a very good grappler and be able to hold your own in any grappling scenario. We want to talk just a little bit about the etiquette that is required when grappling. John?
Well, we don't have a formal etiquette in that bowing and that kind of thing, but normally prior to starting wrestling, what's normal is most of the time we shake hands before we start and every time we finish wrestling. The reason for this, it's not just an empty tradition, but it's important that we create a good, fun learning environment. And I need to make my partner feel good and secure about wrestling. I need to make my partner feel happy about wrestling with me and being able to tap to me and me to him. We need to know that it's okay to do that. So irrespective of who wins, how many times you tap, or he taps you or I tap him, we need to know that we both feel good about training with each other. We both need to know that we respect each other's abilities. So it's always good just to finish with a shake of the hand and begin the same way.
The best thing that a partner can do for grappling is to give the right amount of resistance. If you're wrestling hard by agreement, then go ahead and wrestle hard. But when you're learning techniques, you can really help your partner by giving them just enough resistance to make it feel real, but make it possible for them to succeed. People don't learn by failure. They don't learn by having a situation where the first time they try something it doesn't work, and the second and third time they tried it doesn't work. People learn by success. Remember that when you're training and when you're going over drills with your partners, let them have that feeling of success over and over again. That's what's going to really build their confidence.
Also, when we're wrestling, if I am tapped out, we need to discuss that afterwards, what happened. Usually I don't have to wait for that. You know, David or all of our students, the same thing. I'll say, hey, this is what I got you with, so that way everyone gets something out of that. I mean, it can be argued that the only way we really learn is by losing. If you win, you walk away feeling I did well, but it's when you lose, you walk away saying, hey, what had happened there? How come that happened? How can I stop that happening next time? And my partner is my coach in making that happen.
I want to talk just for a moment about safety. It's very important in training that you don't get injured, obviously, and you don't injure your partners. You need a clear space. You need some sort of mat. If you're wearing material, make sure that it's not too long. Your fingers aren't going to get caught in it. When you take grips, if you're wearing a martial arts uniform, take grips where your fingers in general are not caught in between. Try to take grips like this, but things that will minimize the possibility of your fingers being caught in the material. That's an unnecessary injury. Also, if you've got mats, be sure that the mats are tightly spaced together so that there isn't the possibility of a toe getting caught. There's lots of spinning and turning, and that can be a common injury if the equipment isn't correct. In terms of what you're wearing, also, be sure to remove any jewelry. Sometimes people forget that they've got an earring in or a necklace. That's really not a good idea when you're training. It's unnecessary. Go ahead and remove it. And also, you need to remember to tap. And John can tell you a bit about tapping.
It's important that we don't resist the tap too much. We don't want to resist the technique too much. I need to be happy about tapping. This comes back to having a training partner that can make me feel good about losing. Learning and losing is the same thing. Every time I lose, there's an opportunity to learn something. So that's why it gets back to that etiquette. My partner makes me feel good about that. So I don't want to be able to say, oh, I think I can get out, and suddenly I injure my arm. I need to be able to train every day. It's all about quantity. I need to do the hours and the volume. So if I'm going flat out once a week to the point where I'm getting injured, I can walk away home and say, yeah, but only no one tapped me this week. That's not as good as training every single day. A little bit every day is better than a whole lot on Sunday afternoon. So from that point of view, I need to be, so I can come back that second day, I need to be able to be injury-free. That's very much one of our priorities, making sure that we can train injury-free. This is one of the great things about grappling. It allows us to go flat out if we want to, but at the same time, we can both walk away and go home. Very difficult to do that in a stand-up situation. So tapping, important to learn that that's okay to tap.
We use the tap to indicate a submission, usually after a joint lock or something that's going to cause injury if the person keeps going, perhaps a choke where you feel that you're going to pass out. Usually it's done just by patting like this. You see a lot of people sometimes tapping on the mat, That's really not the best idea, because in grappling, there's so much movement going on. Sometimes there's adrenaline going. Your partner really may not hear it, may not be aware that you're tapping. Tapping on yourself also doesn't do any good, because he doesn't know what you're feeling. So the most important thing, if you can, is to always go ahead and tap on your partner. Whatever lock he's applying on you, be sure to let him know. You should also let him know verbally. There's nothing wrong with saying, okay, or stop. It's important to give him the information both physically and through his ears, because it's possible you're so tangled up he can't even feel it, and he may not be in a situation where he realizes you're about to tap.
It's important to understand that this series of tapes is a methodology. It's not just an encyclopedia of techniques. And as a methodology, there's an order that is important, particularly the first 3 levels. It's important to do those levels in that order before proceeding on. So it's tempting to go down and skip to the end and see all the advanced techniques, but if we haven't got that foundation down at the very beginning, then we won't have any framework on which to pack all that other information. So it's very important, before you continue, go thoroughly through every tape, but particularly those first 3 tapes.
Just want to give you a basic overview of positions so you understand what's good and what's bad in grappling, so you have the language to understand when you're seeing something, whether the position is offensive or defensive. Anywhere where I'm in between John's legs, or even if his legs are open in between us, this is called in John's guard. If they're locked around me, I'm in his closed guard. If they're open, I'm in his open guard. It's a very even position. John, when I'm in his guard, can be applying attacks and finishes against me, things like arm bars, triangles, chokes, things you're going to be learning. He can also turn the position over, sweeping me, reversing, and coming on top. On the other hand, when I'm in a top position, I have a few attacks I can execute against the legs, but I'm also in a more dominant position where he's feeling my weight. My job when I'm in the guard is to advance from this position, finding any way to get out of the legs, coming around, whether it's over, cartwheeling through, underneath, whatever it takes to get me to a side position. This position is called side control. Many variations, but the point here is I'm pinning him down and I'm free of his legs. Side control is an attack position for me. He now does not have the use of his legs to attack. He's strictly concerned about defense. Better position from there as well is knee on the stomach. Now I'm focusing my weight, my hands are free, and I can even do more attacks. We call this knee ride. I can move on into the mount, very dominant position. The mount, I can execute attacks. Once again, he's simply involved in defense at this point, trying to roll me over. And if he turns, I've essentially mounted his back. And this is called back control. Here his hands are of no use to defend him and striking in any way. A lot of chokes I can do. It's a very tiring position for him. We hope with that basic overview, you can understand as you're looking at grappling when someone's in a good position, when they're in a bad position. Now you've got a very basic roadmap.